Alright, morning, and welcome to another episode of Point, Laugh, and Study. This time, we are going to be covering an individual called Jeremy Hambley, who seems to be getting himself involved in an endless array of drama online recently. So, good for the algorithm, I suppose, but also just an intriguing case. So, let's get into this. Alright. This is a video by June the King, The Quartering, 2 Decades of Grifting. We're going to probably start at the first part here and then go to maybe The Quartering Begins, something like that. And there's a bunch of stuff in here where he's just doing a whole bunch of, I guess he was a computer IT person, and as well as, RC stuff and card Magic the Gathering type stuff. Yeah, I'm not overly intrigued by that, but then we'll jump. Alright, let's do this.
In the political commentary space, there are few as detested and as untrustworthy as Jeremy Hambley. He is Schrodinger.
He kind of looks like a anthropophagus. Anthropophagus? Yeah. Waiting to break that one out. No, it does feel like his eyes, like I never noticed before, but man, his eyes have, they're close together like a predator.
There's Grifter. Wealthy when there is doubt about.
Just saying, if he would just say, "I like where your head's at," it would almost come off as a threat. Like a headhunter. No. Sorry, that's a little bit over the top.
His net worth, yet poor when fundraising through the.
Okay, that one legitimately looks like a serial killer. This came straight out of a crime drama. That's what it feels like.
Guise of desperation.
$80,000 in equipment. I've got $300,000 almost floating right now in debt.
There's actually a weird thing where some people look like borderline creepy without a beard. I don't know if maybe it's just the kind of persona that they represent or something like that. I'm not for sure, but it just, like, some people, they just come off really creepy without a beard.
I'm saying I make well over $1 million a year just on coffee.
Jeremy has an extensive history of fundraising for every facet of his business, but also
Get that grind. Get the hustle.
a history of videos displaying his over 10,000.
What's the phrase people use? No, I think "on my grind" is the phrase people use.
RC track with custom baseball mixed dirt, his $10,000 in trading card packs, which he opens live, and a saltwater fish tank devoid of living fish, but not of aggressive monetization.
Here is the
I thought this is my bright idea. I think it'd be a great idea if you took an aquarium of some sort, not an aquarium, but like a terrarium, is that the right word? And you had an opening to the outside of your house, and then you had this terrarium running around inside your house where animals could just come in through the outside and live in there. That'd be kind of cool, I think. Probably cost a bunch, but why is there a giant, fat, naked dude in the back here?
fish funeral fund.
Coverage
And
of
is
Jeremy's
that
spending
supposed to be
habits
this
is
guy?
often coupled with stories of his struggles with irritable bowel syndrome and his penchant
How delightful.
for urinating around his home.
When you have no
Again, how delightful.
mortgage on your beautiful home, you can pee in it wherever you want. And the fact that they think this is some kind of own is weird. It's never something I denied.
The combined decline of viewership, revenue, and respect for him have induced more outbursts, furthering his decline, and increased interest in his history, which he desires to conceal. So who is Jeremy Hambley? What truly...
This is kind of perhaps with the benefit of hindsight. Like, I have pre-watched this, and I guess you were in doubt about that. But it does feel like Jeremy Hambley is kind of one of those people. You ever met them where they feel like they've never really gotten comfortable being themselves? So their whole shtick is, what do other people like? What do other people think is good? And then I'll try to be that. I'll try to do that. It's kind of a sad way to live one's life, in my humble estimation. Oh, nice. I think this is like Get Woke, Go Broke. And he has one of those big mouth Billy Bass. Is that what it is? We had one of those when I was a kid. I'm digressing further. But you know that song, Here's the Little Song I Wrote? We'd always heard that the guy who wrote that actually committed suicide, which is not the case. I think it's some sort of cult, urban legend or something like that. It really didn't happen. I don't think he killed himself. I don't know if he's still alive, but it wasn't some sort of suicide. Don't know how that got started.
Motivates him. And why does he have over 10 channels spread across his nearly 2 decades on YouTube? An important part of grifting is to sell with confidence or with purpose, not in the belief of the product, but for the sake of personal gain. Jeremy Hambley in the 2000s discovered that he was seemingly
Pervert! Just not judging a book by its cover in the most superfluous way possible, but yes, definitely a pervert. That's what this gives.
good at 2 things: computer repair through his employment at a computer repair shop and persuasion.
This is a type of skill that I had realized working fixing computers, that I was good with people. I was good with sales. I was good with relationships. I was really good at relating to people.
Jeremy,
again, with the benefit of hindsight, it feels like he might be good at the first part of it, that is like, the initial networking or something like that. But that isn't necessarily the same thing as a person being good at maintaining relationships. I feel like you almost have to be good at apologizing. Or it's a different skill set than, I can walk up to someone and talk to them and get in good with them initially, versus I can create a long-term relationship that's functional. They're not exactly the same thing.
and enrolling in management computer systems courses at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, discovered he was not good at 2 things, just one.
It was really just hardcore coding, which I'm awful at.
Jeremy struggled with his programming classes, often skipping classes to instead stay at home and drink. In a single semester, he
College is for pansies. And as Andrew Tate says, reading is gay.
was placed under scholastic probation as his grade point average dipped below what the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater was willing to accept. Jeremy, through a tribunal, was given a chance to explain why he should be allowed to return to the college.
I decided to go into my tribunal and say, look, I'm changing my major. I think I'd be really good in marketing, and here are the many reasons why. I also said, I'm having problems with my girlfriend and being away from home, because I knew how to play on people's heartstrings,
Jeremy's
Wonder if that'll come up later.
emotional plea worked. He returned to the school to study
I just feel like it's kind of a bad omen if you're just literally saying, I'm good at manipulating people.
marketing. Jeremy was refining his craft, claiming that he excelled in his marketing courses, eventually graduating with a Bachelor in Arts and Marketing in 2005 and a Master's of Business Administration and Marketing in 2000.
E-commerce, social media, web marketing. I have to see more.
2007. It was this same year that Jeremy created his first YouTube channel, combining his college degrees and his experience with computers.
The first video in our series, From the Eyes of a Computer Tech.
Be Your Own IT was a channel primarily made to convince viewers to visit Jeremy's website, beyourownit.com. In both areas, Jeremy heavily promoted his personal computer repair courses, laptop repair courses.
Give me a second. I'm going to check on something here. Yeah, we're good. Just making sure the sound was on. I've done that before where it's annoying as all get out.
And even a guide on how to start a computer repair business. Eventually, he would sell the physical tools needed for computer repair. Among the hundreds of videos encompassing guides, general information.
I wonder if that's all he's going to sell. No. Again, pre-watch. Oh, and also I just heard about it, but he has a coffee company or whatever. Might have some other stuff going on too. It feels like he would be the type of person to try and wear multiple hats. Because he's balding.
On computer components and advise.
Works on so many levels.
Few would be archived. The videos that were would haunt Jeremy for decades.
At the office this week, we had a situation where one of the techs came across some pictures on a customer's computer that were of the child variety. I don't really know if there's any tack way to put that.
I don't think Jeremy Hambley's been ever accused of anything of that sort. Just kind of being a doofus and or kind of, I guess, creepy towards women, adult women, when he gets drunk or something like that. But he's never been accused of anything in the realm of child stuff. So I feel like, yes, this looks bad, but it's more likely to be just tone deaf, I guess. Because I feel like you could have made this point with any other example, and it would have been taken far better than this. Like this just the association with, oh, child pornography, that's what we found. And, oh, maybe you should be careful. Like it's the worst possible iteration of how this could have went.
The point of this video is just to remind people that, you know, as techs, we read your emails, so to speak. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it happens. So if you have things that you don't want computer techs to see, you know, maybe change the folder name when you take it in if you can.
While some would see this video as informative in how computer techs have access to users' personal information, others would eventually view this as Jeremy, per his specific example, advising predators on how not to get caught. For the time,
Yeah, again, I don't think that's likely, but it's just a terrible look. All right, we're gonna skip to the quartering begins. I think I'll jump in there.
Deep lore. They were faking their wins. It's hard to compete winning a plush, you know, a Bart Simpson plush, when these, you know, 15-year-old kids are faking winning Xboxes and this and that. So
Is this what you call first world problems?
everyone lost faith.
Jeremy is
That seems kind of like weirdly petty for an adult man to be like.
limited to producing sensational videos. He is deceitful and or manipulates footage to favor him, and he uploads frequently and typically on the same day the video was recorded.
It's one of those things, like, again, pre-watch, but I think before this he'd been talking about the notion that Jeremy Hambley, maybe he goes into this, but that Jeremy Hambley doesn't have, like, a great degree of, like, effectively, like, inquisitivity when going into a subject, which I think is kind of unforgivable when it comes to especially analysis or anything that's, like, super meaningful. Like, if you're just some sort of troll thing, maybe you can get away with just, you know, going off all half-cocked on something. But it feels like you have to want to be, like, gathering all the pertinent data on any given topic. And if you're biased either for or against it, you're more likely to be just finding the information you look for rather than all the pertinent information. Present a more holistic picture. Yeah.
Jeremy is a perfect fit for a political commentary channel, but political commentary narrowed to only culture.
I can't imagine what he's talking about here. Like, if you had to, like, just off the cuff say what Hassan Piker is talking about here. Hasanabi provocateur gamer. There's an ethnically ambiguous woman with weird glasses and cows. I don't know. Maybe it's a farming issue. Beef is getting too high or something. And he wants to kill all the farmers who are raising the price now. I'm sorry. It just feel like a very strange sort of scenario. Anyways.
And again, narrowed only to pop culture. For Jeremy, the era of selling channels had passed. Now, it was the era of selling outrage. If this was all that Jeremy did, he could be very successful. Only he has two major flaws.
So I want to check that. Magic the Gathering. I thought it was like something the Catholic or I thought this was, I guess it's the font just makes it look like a C.
Jeremy did, he could be very successful. Only he has two major flaws. There is a part of him that demands respect online. This same part of him also seeks fellowship online. These two elements drive the opposite of the desired result.
Thank you.
I don't think it's entirely true, but it is kind of true that as a general rule, leaders tend to remain a little bit aloof, and perhaps in order to do their job well, they kind of have to remain a little bit aloof from the plebeians. I might skip this party. I think there's something about,
His test. Sargon of Akkad is a creator that makes similar videos to Jeremy. He is someone that Jeremy greatly admired. admired enough to make the string
I'm not saying Sargon of Akkad is great, but I don't think I would actually put them in the same category. Just from my knowledge.
a sarcastic video because Coach Red Pill, a creator in the same space as
I think this guy ended up dying or something in Ukraine or something like that.
Jeremy, commented about such a thing.
Coach Red Pill asked me, actually stated
Information.
Sorry, again.
On May 21st,
Flip it.
2018, Jeremy and Coach Red Pill
I'll leave you to investigate that yourself.
confronted each other on a live stream.
I'll
How
go
many children
education
do
to
you have?
education.
How
I'll
many-
go
how many
house
children
to
do
house
you have?
with you. I'll go wife to wife with you. I'll go bank
Okay.
account to bank account with you. Any one
Oh,
of,
I
any
don't think you want to go
measure.
there. Okay, sure.
I will.
How many children?
I will.
How many children?
0.
Okay, I've got 4 by 3 different women.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you're a shitty dad. Congratulations.
Jeremy and Coach Red Pill also compared their subscriber count. Most importantly, the two compared their estimated net worth.
I feel like if you're... Like, I'm not saying there's no, like, metric of, like, success there, but it does feel kind of strange that people are using online popularity as a metric for, like, real-life success, in my mind. Maybe it's not strange at all, but it just, you know...
How many figures?
Net, probably low 7s.
Okay,
At 35.
at 35. Okay, good.
Jeremy claimed to be a millionaire. This would not be the last time he would flaunt his wealth, but it was the first time and perhaps the only time that Jeremy provided information on his net worth. This other
It might be a scenario in which it's kind of an unreliable narrator because he's trying to show off, I guess.
otherwise worthless information is dangerous when put alongside any would-be desperate plea for financial assistance. For the moment, it would drown under a sea of noise. For the present, it was mid-2018 that Jeremy was hitting a stride in spotlighting social justice warriors, or SJWs, a derisive umbrella term used to describe indignant, unruly adults. Jeremy was able to recenter the frustration pop
Sorry, what? My brain just glitched out there for a second.
under a sea of noise. For the present, it was mid-2018 that Jeremy was hitting a stride in spotlighting social justice warriors, or
Okay, so is he the one who coined the term?
SJWs, a derisive umbrella term
Or he just came up with the acronym?
used to describe indignant, unruly adults. Jeremy was able to recenter the frustration pop culture enthusiasts felt in their hobbies, such as comic books, towards these SJWs. While Jeremy failed to move the conversation, if anything made tensions worse, he was successful in growing the quartering, going from 1
Yeah, well, you have to find some way to be original, right?
1.5 million views a month to 7 million by August, then to over 10 million views a month nearing the end of 2018. During this time, Jeremy started the podcast channel The Incredible Salt Mine with 2 other creators.
It is like, sorry, I'm going kind of retrogressing here. It does feel like there's the types of people that make their entire life about like one thing or something like that. And to my mind, it's like a person who just like brags about their IQ or brags about like if they're most interesting about them is their race or their sexuality or their whatever. It does feel like you're putting yourself in for living a very, I don't know, disappointing, unremarkable life, if that makes sense. And it feels like in this case, he kind of gets, I don't know, forget it.
Only made
I don't know if it's
possible due to a
applicable.
chat member donating
I think it's true, but I don't know if it's applicable to this situation.
$500.
somebody just fucking
Dude.
donated $500. I have to tell the story about how I shit my pants now.
Oh, you
Mm-hmm.
dude!
Once upon a time, I believe I was probably 32, 33, maybe 34.
So hang on. What was that? A couple of years ago. How old are you?
Yeah. I'm 36.
Okay. All right.
So
This
yeah,
is recent.
Here's a question. What's the difference between like a craft single and this? Or is this a craft single? Is that what this is supposed to be? Because like American cheese, I do not consider to be like actual cheese, but I think sometimes they will literally like, they'll melt cheese in a thing, and then I think Olivia Tiedemann, I don't know, was the one I was watching do it, and she was melting cheese together and then pouring it out and then cutting it into slabs or something like that, which is, kind of cool. But as far as like American cheese, that's not cheese that you're eating. Sorry to break it to you. I don't know what the crap they put in there, but that is like
Vivid.
Go.
no.
The memory is vivid. We're at Walmart. We had just eaten, my wife and I, we had just eaten at Qdoba. And like, when you're going to have I would say watery shit, you can kind of tell like your stomach kind of gurgles and you know it's going to be bad. Well, we're grocery shopping.
And I'll leave you to do your own research at that point.
Though the streamed podcast, where Jeremy told his story, only got 30,000 views, retellings of the story would get considerably more viewership. On the topic of viewership...
Well, I think he goes into this, but he does get a little bit... He gets a little bit pressed about the retellings of this.
Jeremy began uploading 2
Like no one to blame but yourself on that one.
videos a day, and began his crusade against celebrity Brie Larson, the actress who played Captain Marvel in Captain Marvel, a movie based on the Marvel comics. Jeremy covered the release.
People use this notion that Brie got kind of thrown to the wolves a little bit, and that people had told her, "Oh yeah, you're going to be the new leader of the Avengers." I think when they were casting her or something like that, that was the idea I think I'd gotten from the various and sundry commentary stuff. I half wonder if Rey from Star Wars, maybe not a popular opinion, but I half wonder if she would have gotten kind of a little bit of the same treatment, where they were told her, "Oh yeah, you're going to be the new Skywalker," blah 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 blah. It's kind of like it. You feel more so than like despising the actors. I feel like you should despise the people who are making the decisions behind all that. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know. There's some new thing where I guess in the Odyssey they're now having Lupita Nyong'o play Helen of Troy, which again, it feels like one of the scenarios. Like I don't know if I blame. I guess technically she took the job, but I don't know if I blame her nearly so much as I do the people who were like, "Oh, we need someone of diverse extraction here," because that'll make people. I don't know. Like I don't know exactly what the logic there is, but I guess it's just kind of a simplistic, "Oh, diversity is good," and there might even be behind that a more cynical type of, "Oh, if it doesn't turn out well, we can just say, oh, it's because of racism or something like that." So it might be kind of a way to hedge your bet a little bit. But it feels like that in particular is almost a sure way to make it not go well. I don't know.
Of Captain Marvel while commenting on Brie Larson's own controversial comments. In his career, he's made 270 videos on the topic of or mentioning Brie Larson. Jeremy made so much money covering her that he dedicated a new shit to her.
Every night before I go to bed, too. Just a little ritual. Appreciate you. Just want her here, too. Appreciate you.
Jeremy covered other evolving stories, such as the exploitation of Stan Lee and the fall of Anita Sarkeesian. Yet neither of these were...
I don't know who Anita Sarkeesian is. It's a name I've heard from various and sundry places. Is she the one who did like Gamergate or something like that? It was like an advertising scare that happened a while back on YouTube where a bunch of advertisers pulled out because of all the edgy stuff that was happening. So YouTube had to kind of crack down on a lot of that stuff, I think. I think that might be the case. I'm not for sure about that, though. Don't quote me.
Were as lucrative as his coverage of Brie Larson. As with any of his other videos, Jeremy often poorly summarized articles, sometimes missing key information that made the point of his video moot. For example, there is this video uploaded in 2021. The headline partly reads, "On-screen killer Michael Myers is branded homophobic for murdering a gay couple in new film." But horror fans argue it is a sign of equality. This is an article about several tweets.
I would think that this is like ironic satire, but it's not.
Quote,
Again, there's that notion that a lack of inquisitivity is kind of unforgivable when you're doing research or something like that, you have to be looking for all of the pertinent data, not just the stuff you want to find. Whether it's against it or for it, whether you're trying to prove or disprove it, you're inevitably going to look for what you're looking for, or you're going to find what you're looking for, rather, right? And then you just kind of, I don't know.
The Twitter user later added, "If it wasn't already clear enough, this tweet was a joke, so please stop attacking me," unquote. Not only is this in the article Jeremy is reading, it is on screen while he is contradicting it. It does not end there.
I got so many people like outright.
That's like, I think the phrase would be that you're trying to create a narrative. You're looking for a narrative, rather than just trying to, find a more. I don't know. I'm going to quote a movie. Don't laugh at me. No, I think it was from... No, technically it is in the books too as well with regards to Sherlock Holmes. The notion would be that I think it's in the books. I could be wrong, but the notion would be that you want to find... You know what? Never mind.
Dating very obviously fake, false information. Like,
the idea was that you want to start with facts rather than in a theory of what you're looking for, right? You start with facts and then you work your way to an interpretation of the facts. But if you start with an interpretation and try to find facts, it doesn't work so well.
So easily researchable, and then stating it so emotionally as fact that it made me think like, these people are actually insane.
This
is a complete bunny trail. But there's actually a weird type of thing where if you want to believe a thing, you'll quite often settle for an incomplete or a type of belief or system of beliefs that only work on a very specious level. Like the notion that is actually that lechery or an inability to control yourself does a really good job of recreating idiocy. So the thing with regards to children, quite often they either lack the ability, and idiots are kind of the same, where they lack the ability to really think through their beliefs thoroughly. So their beliefs quite often are these shallow, specious things. They only work on a very base level. But the more you think about them, the more you try to reconcile them with all of the available pertinent data, they no longer work. In the same regard, if you really want to believe a thing, like if you're in love or something like that, and there's your partner does something bad, well, you can, because you want to believe the best of your partner in that scenario, you can settle for a very specious explanation of that thing because you want to believe it. But it's not really a well thought out belief. In the same way, a junkie or a person who's incapable of controlling themselves on some level, to them, it feels like their beliefs quite often are not so much beliefs as they are a pretense that allows them to justify self-indulgence, right? They want to believe a thing that allows them to do what they want to do without feeling bad about it. And because of that, their beliefs, their systems of beliefs, they can quite often just be this really shallow, not well thought out type of thing, if that makes sense. Which clearly it does, because I came up with it.
Profitable as it was for Jeremy to monetize nonsense outrage and antagonize...
That's also probably one of the reasons why the whole notion of character assassinations work, because we do associate degeneracy to some extent with the notion that a person shouldn't be taken seriously or their position shouldn't be taken seriously. And on some level, I think it kind of works a little bit-ish. But I guess, never mind. We'll leave it at that.
Others on YouTube or Twitter.
Enough blathering.
Back in 2018, some posts would have lasting consequences that outweighed any monetary gain or support. On June 30th, 2018, in response to Matt Fantastic alleging someone...
Nothing like slandering a man with no evidence at all. Let me try this. Someone once told me that Matt Fantastic... PSA. Coerces and abuses people. Is a predatory sex creep. That people use the word predatory. There's all sorts of evocations that go along with that.
was being predatory, Jeremy, as he did with Mark Rosewater, claimed, quote, "Someone once told me Matt Fantastic did some horrible things with young boys. He should pay for what he did. Listen and believe me," unquote.
This is the window he punched in after not being able to continue to punch me. Here's some witnesses. Hey, did that guy just ask my name and then start assaulting me?
Yeah, he said, "Hey, are you Jeremy Hambley?" And you said, "Yeah," and he goes, and reached over and started punching you in the head.
I don't know if you saw the YouTube footage, but
How could he punch you? Never mind. I'm just saying he's really tall. It feels like for, I guess I don't know how tall the other guy is, but it feels like for, I don't know. Could work.
just got here to Gen Con 2018, was hanging out with basically Gen Con royalty.
On August 2nd, 2018, Jeremy was assaulted at a bar near Gen Con, a convention he...
We'll see. I don't know if we're going to watch this. I might skip ahead. This is the more recent stuff here. We'll jump into this, I think. Yeah, the Keenix, what they're doing is kind of funny, but it also has to do with some more salacious stuff that Jeremy allegedly got involved in. So I might, I'll skip ahead here a little bit, but
was attending. Jeremy explains the assailant asked him to verify who he was before striking him repeatedly on the back of his head, then fled before the police could be called.
Not cool, bro.
Jeremy also alleges that the bar initially refused to call the police.
Look at this shirt. I'm gonna rip my shirt. Wait, hold on. Ripped all the buttons off my shirt. My arm is bleeding from... Here, let me put it this way. Can you see that? That's just from me trying to pull away from this guy. Like, he probably thinks he's so woke. And he's gonna go tell his buddies how cool he was, right? For attacking somebody when they weren't even looking.
Quote, "I'm keeping a lower profile, but I'm straight chillin' and doing fine. Telling stories about me online is what it is. No charges. I haven't fled the con/state. I'm drinking beers, playing games, and doing business with my friends."
That is like, there's something incredible. Like, I don't even, again, don't like, I'm not like necessarily siding with Jeremy like writ large, but in this case, it does feel like there's something profoundly insufferable with regards to people who are like I don't know, like not cry bullies, but like a type of person who's like a cowardly, predatorial type of individual. There's a saying that kind of captures what what I'm talking about. The notion would be that you can tell a barbarian because when he hurts you, he laughs, but when you hurt him, he cries. Something like that. And that it kind of feels like this whole archetype here. Like people who love to inflict pain but are incapable of taking it themselves. Like,
Unquote. Matt Fantastic, the assailant who was identified the same day of the attack, ended this post with #PunchNazis. On the 4th, Jeremy commented on the widespread coverage of his assault, remarking on the support he was receiving and vowing to pursue legal action. And though he initially wanted to prematurely leave Gen Con in fear of another assault, he made the decision to remain for his previously appropriated time. With videos of support pouring in, Jeremy on August 9th created a GoFundMe for the purpose of suing Matt Fantastic. The fundraiser undershot its goal of $40,000 by $6,000. Still, Jeremy went forward with it. In the midst of filing, Jeremy received an email from the Gen Con company, informing him that he and Matt Fantastic were banned from attending future events. A decision influenced by the possibility of further retaliation at Jeremy at upcoming conventions. The results of the...
it seems kind of like untoward to ban someone who got attacked at your scenario. A little bit like victim blamey, I guess. Again, I'm not siding with Jeremy writ large, but it does feel like in this case it's not, he was in the right.
Lawsuit, to some, would be similarly disappointing. Rather than reaching judgment, Jeremy and Matt settled. Matt's apology in video form appears to be a condition for this settlement.
Hi, this is Matt Loader. Some of you know me as Matt Fantastic.
Yeah, you see that right there?
be a condition for this settlement.
Hi, this is Matt Loader. Some of you know me as Matt Fantastic.
Right there. Moron. It's an apology.
Just prior to Gen Con 2018, I let my anger get the best of me.
Again, smile.
And physically confronted Jeremy Hambley outside a bar in Indianapolis over statements he made about me previously. I unequivocally take responsibility for my actions that evening, which were wrong, and apologize to Jeremy for my thoughtless conduct.
Yeah. You know, they say, like, I'm thinking it's like more than half of language is nonverbals. This feels like what he's saying. Yeah, I apologize. Glad I did it, though.
Matt looked gleeful in his apology, something that was not lost on
he looked very gleeful.
those reacting to Jeremy's video. Quote, Matt is basically smirking at the beginning of his apology. He clearly doesn't think this is a serious situation even after losing. Since we will never know the terms of the settlement, I suspect from his smugness that he was not made to pay out much of anything, probably not even the cost of Jeremy's lawyers, since Jeremy only said, quote-unquote, remaining funds would be donated, unquote. This was just the first of Jeremy's fundraising efforts, started in 2018 to reach an
He hadn't really caught his stride yet.
unsatisfying conclusion.
No, it does feel like he kind of got into the rhythm of asking for. That's like, it does feel like there's kind of a category of political commentators in particular who tend to sensationalize what's going on. Like, their kind of bread and butter is make things seem really, really bad, or make things seem really dire, so to get support for their operations, I guess.
The second was a fundraiser for exclusive games, a video game.
Maybe I should be so catty about it, but I do feel like Steven Crowder is kind of the one I'm talking about. I even like his, he's kind of funny in my mind, but he does kind of come off as that type of individual where he's kind of, hey, things are pretty bad, so blah, blah, yeah.
Tabletop and arcade.
I guess I can't. Yeah. No, I can blame them. I think it's a little bit skeevy. I think it's a little bit dishonest.
Game media website campaigning.
I don't think he's unique in that regard, but it does feel like political commentators can tend to be like, all right, enough of that BS.
As a space devoid of politics. Quote-unquote, all games, no politics. Though Jeremy had experience managing websites across several channels with little overhead, this changed in 2014 when his Patreon asked for $5,000 per month for a full staff of presumably 4 to 5 writers and an application development team. This changed again in late 2018 when Jeremy claimed running website now cost $30,000 for 3 months. He also stated in the fundraising that he pre-funded the graphic design of the website, the HTML coding of the website, the bulletin software, and the website's forum. The $10,000 a month was to pay for articles, editors, mods, social media managers, ongoing graphic design, merge creation, and server protection. The funding concluded with $159,443 raised. The website appears to have launched early 2019 to little fanfare. This is quantifiable because the articles have a view counter underneath them. While some would get as high as 8.5 thousand, others would slump to 400 views, a fraction stringent in its policy to keep appropriate behavior, though this reasoning was dubious as the ban was reversed.
What have we got? Alright, we're going to jump back in here near the end. Maybe we'll go through the end too. Again, some of this stuff has a little bit of dubious character. Maybe not some stuff I would want to cover, but at least not on my own channel in any case. But you can go check that out yourself. In any case, this is going in. I think this is going over the Kino Casino and the DMCA strikes that Jeremy had been, kind of carrying out, or maybe it's a type of like parallel to the notion of stochastic terrorism, where he was saying like this is how it could be done, and he has a huge audience, so maybe some of them did it. I think they were saying at one point there actually had been a confession of some sort on Twitter, which is now gone. But we'll say allegedly there was a confession. I don't know.
Jeremy was being brigaded by detractors so fiercely that even several...
Yeah. To recap, this is Kino Casino. They had been going after Jeremy. I think they're conservative kind of troll type thingies. This guy is obviously an aristocrat circa the French Revolution. That's his vibe. This guy is a Midwest lumberjack.
Newly promoted chat moderators could not keep up with...
Actually, they're both from Canada, for what it's worth.
The constant stream of detractors. This was just on YouTube, as Jeremy was multi-streaming on Kick as well, where his chat ran rampant, until he was notified of it and set it to subscriber chat only. After he did so, not a single chat message could be seen, implying his...
That's unfortunate.
Kick chat was entirely made up of detractors. Opposition against Jeremy was innumerable, and support for Jeremy came down to a handful of creators like Melanie Mack, who released a video this day.
I think she might be kind of his ride or die. They're not in a relationship, but that's kind of the vibe you get. Like, I think she's his co-host or something, and she's just fiercely loyal to the point of near delusion. I guess I don't know. Maybe she's aware of kind of what's going on. She just wants to ignore it for financial considerations or whatever the heck is going on. I'm not for sure.
She refutes the accusation that Jeremy has ever made her uncomfortable, and the accusations that she is constrained to the podcast due to her
I would almost lean more towards she knows what's going on. She knows it's bad. She's just, a streamer, I guess. She's a YouTuber.
Finances. She also believes that the
Need I say more?
hate towards Jeremy is manufactured as a topic of the week, and also believes this is Satan's doing, as Jeremy has recently come to Christ.
I'm truly convinced that it's because that at the root of it, it's because he came to Christ.
Melanie's video was not well received, to the point that she turned the comments off. Jeremy took a similar strategy on his Twitter, only allowing what appears to be accounts he follows the ability to reply to his posts. His YouTube channel remained uncensored, now brimming with references to the Kino Casino and Bulls. And then the following day, on April 12th...
Yeah, you can go check out that part yourself, but there's allegations that one of his friends, I believe, is some sort of swinger, and that Jeremy and his wife may or may not be swinging with him. So again, I said quite salacious, not something I really want to cover.
There were two major developments. First, a different channel known as Illicit Clips that hosted a video of Noel discussing the courting's recent scandal was hit with a community guideline strike under harassment and cyberbullying. As for the second development,
they're dropping like flies.
Discovery was made. Just 2 days prior, during Jeremy's stream, he pasted a link to Gmail as a way to access it. Briefly, below the address bar were...
YouTube support, thanks for your report. Your YouTube payment details.
Various different links to emails that Jeremy had received. Two of these email headers read, YouTube support and thanks for your report to YouTube. As this was under the NTQ headquarters Gmail, an email tied to various accounts.
Is there a way you could search the URL or something? I don't know.
Including his Unsleep Media account, formerly known as MTG headquarters. This was taken as strong evidence that Jeremy was the source of the reports. It did not help that he had failed to show the report.
Well, so given the amount involved and the amount of people who have their YouTubes ostensibly taken down because of this, it feels like he could have been the source of all of them. But I guess I don't know. It just feels like given the quantity of the people involved in this, again, ostensibly involved, he couldn't have been the source of all of it. I don't know, though. He might have deleted some of it. Forget it.
Report history for Unsleep Media.
That was nothing.
Jeremy,
nothing burger.
Not even an hour later, refuted this, claiming that
what I was saying, not what they were saying.
At least one of the emails were related to his Unsleep Media account being demonetized. Jeremy's statement was not so easily believed, as the email lacked the header, meaning it could not be cross-referenced to the links seen in the clip. It also mentions nothing about a report being received, as the subject of the email was an appeal. Two far different, distinct types of emails from YouTube support. When asked why He hasn't shown the report history for Unsleeved Media. Jeremy responded only by calling the person asking the question desperate. And when asked about why the subject of the email was not tied to the previously seen address bar suggestions, Jeremy outright ignored the question. As another piece of evidence against Jeremy, this creator claims to have reported their...
See, I was going to mention it with regards to that lechery thing I was talking about earlier, but it generally feels like there's a type of weird dynamic people have where they will spend a tremendous amount of time insulting a person without addressing any of their points. And it feels like the notion would be that if you want to disregard what a person says, that's fine. You can say, oh, they're an idiot. I'm not going to address what they say. I'm not going to take what they say seriously. But when you wax eloquent on their shortcomings, it feels like at that point you can no longer pretend that you're not taking them seriously, right? So just address the point already. In this case, it feels like he's engaging, so he can't pretend that he doesn't care about this stuff, or that he's above it, or that he's just not taking any of it seriously. Like, just if you're gonna engage, don't. Yeah, just go full send, get involved, and address it in a holistic. I can't stand using that word just because I hate it. Well, I don't know if I hate it. It just feels pretentious. But if you're gonna get involved, don't do half measures. Don't kind of get involved and then just insult other people. And it feels like it's a hypocritical way of treating the whole thing.
Their own channel with a separate channel they own. What they found is the subject of the email they received is word for word what appeared in Jeremy's address bar suggestion. Additionally, a stream from a smaller creator covering the situation was taken down. Jeremy's email scandal, along with many other developments...
See, again, this guy looks like some sort of powdered dude from, like, again, the French Revolution. Aristocrat. A Victorian child, perhaps?
would be covered in the Kino Casino's 11-hour April 13th stream. It opens with the newer theory that the courting was able to get the Kino Casino banned not through email, but through a phone call.
Portering made a phone call. Yeah. He has a contact at YouTube.
A non-Indian contact, mind you.
That's high up behind...
No, that's not me making a joke. That's literally what he said, I believe.
And the scenes.
Technically, I do think it's kind of funny, but...
God only knows how the fuck he got this contact, but it's a complete cloak and dagger conspiracy with this fellow.
Yeah.
It's so insidious the way that this was done. It was done 30 minutes before the close of business hours in California. The reason it was done like that is so that nobody could contact their YouTube rep until Monday. So we...
That's rather nefarious.
Weren't even able to...
Kind of sus, in fact.
Contact our own YouTube...
As the kids are saying.
Representative until noon today Eastern time to begin the process of reversing this. In his DMs with Josh Moon, he says he doesn't even have to flag. He says, I'm not going to flag. All I have to do is make one phone call. That's what he says.
The Kino Casino claims to...
I think the notion also, maybe this hasn't been mentioned yet, but that Jeremy is a pretty heavy drinker, and so he has kind of a Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde type thing going on, if that makes sense. Yeah, he gets kind of all hopped up on liquid courage and then does a bunch of dumb stuff, and then he comes down, and yeah. Probably not the best thing to be doing, especially if you're a mean drunk, to be calling people and doing stuff when you're if you can't manage it in any case, especially. Generally speaking, just, you know, from a Christian standpoint, being drunk is bad, but especially if you can't handle it.
Now have influential creators such as H3H3 reaching out to YouTube on their behalf. And not only...
It's weird to think, like, what exactly makes people behave differently when they're drunk, I suppose. Like, I tend to think it just has to do with inhibitions. So if a person is, generally speaking, a very, like, naturally acting individual, if they're the type of person who lets themselves be who they are all the time, I would imagine you wouldn't see much of a difference between drunk them and sober them. But if there's a person who's like very repressed in their behaviors and the way they talk to people, you could probably see more of a divergence there. Maybe that's the case with Jeremy.
Not only did the Kino Casino claim other large creators backed up their phone call theory, creator Yellow Flash publicly stated it was the case.
Just for your own peace of mind, I pinged one of our guys last night about the quartering drama. His estimation based on the back end is that the casino was taken down from a personal request, you see, exactly like Hambly said it would go down in the DMs with Josh, because all the user reports were deemed nonsense by the automated system all week.
Again, kind of sus.
Except a privacy claim that also failed to hold up to manual review. He's on the security side, but did say this is almost certainly an off-platform point of contact. Call, text, email.
Jeremy refuted this theory. His dismissal of it was hardly satisfactory.
This crazy theory, you mean what you told us yourself, Jeremy? What we showed earlier in this presentation?
Sorry, my picture may be blocking the top of this guy's head.
When you told Josh Moon that all you had to do was make one phone call to take our channel down. This crazy theory from some unknown source. You mean you? The unknown source is literally your own DMs and your...
This Victorian child is really cooking here.
Own words.
Kino Casino then shifted to covering a long history of Jeremy's hypocrisy involving harassment and how...
It's like came up with this crazy theory. That's kind of the language here. This crazy theory. I mean, I'm not even taking this like yeah, you kind of, I don't know. Just like given the effort you've put into refuting stuff like this, just buckle down and address the stuff. You're clearly worried about this. You clearly are invested in it. Like, why pretend that it's just kind of something that should be dismissed immediately? I guess, I don't know, maybe he's segmenting it or something and taking some stuff seriously, but...
Casino then shifted to covering a long history of Jeremy's hypocrisy involving harassment and how demanding he was for others to show proof of harassment when now he himself was failing to do such a thing. The Kino Casino also covered more of Jeremy's recently uncovered exploits.
When I was in my teens, I had one threesome with...
Dear heavens above. Okay. We're skipping ahead a little bit.
Now, even just this VOD on Kick was more than double that. What's more...
Alright. Missed a part.
Viewers of their clip channel or live stream. The clip channel's videos rarely surpassed 100,000 viewers. Now, even just this VOD on Kick was more than double that. What's more, the Kino Casino stream had a segment where they shouted out various creators who had tweeted...
Okay, what am I missing here?
...had triggered a fierce Streisand effect. Normally, these tales of Jeremy...
Right, because generally speaking, their clip channel didn't get that much, and because Jeremy is being weird, they're getting more viewers.
They only reached the dedicated viewers.
I got it. I'm locked in.
Of their clip channel or live stream. The clip channel's videos rarely surpassed 100,000 viewers. Now, even just this VOD on Kick was more than double that. What's more, the Kino Casino stream had a segment where they shouted out various creators who had tweeted or made videos in support of them. This amounted to 78 creators with hundreds to millions of subscribers. Within were some former and even current friends of Jeremy. Even enemies of the casino were reaching out in support. Never
it's a rather expansive movement.
Has Jeremy faced such large-scale opposition. And the worst part of it all was that he could not rely on his typical tactics of dismissing the criticism or manipulating the narrative to support him. Even if there was truth to what Jeremy spoke and he had no hand in the casino's banning, the hate towards him was too great and melded with rhetoric from the enemies he's collected from the past 10 years. This is to say that even outside the Kino Casino...
That's like... Yeah. It's kind of a strange sort of thing that, like, you don't want to leave things on bad terms with people because, like, it feels like they have a tendency to become kind of aggregate. They become part of a pattern, put it that way.
Jeremy had made so many enemies that, ostensibly, the collective attack on Jeremy was partly the...
where's that trademark people skills he was talking about?
...result of years of pent-up frustration. Years of hiding behind the status of...
Admittedly, I think it's harder for people, especially online, who are popular or in the YouTube space in general, to maybe make lasting friendships or something like that, just because you get business involved. It's always, especially online stuff, it feels like it's a mug's game.
His allies and politics. Years of manipulating narratives to benefit him or dismiss criticism. The day was finally here.
I don't even know if I'm using that correctly. It's like Washington, D.C. type thing. Political maneuvering type stuff. That's what I'm trying to say.
Where Jeremy could no longer hide. He was now entirely unequipped to face these consequences, and entirely exposed to the derogation of the Kino Casino that even previously he was...
Derogation?
Unable to rival. Just typing weekend in Jeremy's live chat will result in a ban. His paranoia had grown so great that his regular viewers were not only being exposed to Jeremy's antics through constant brigading of detractors, but also being caught in the crossfire.
I've been a fan of Jeremy since 2017. Why was my other account just banned for asking why there are so many comments getting deleted? This is wild. I'm 63. This is wild. I'm 63 years old, and never have I seen this before. But he's banning his boomer audience.
That's also a thing they do, apparently, as a triangle. Whoa, buddy! I think they also do like really hype intros or promos for their streams or something, so it's kind of a very high energy.
Discusser, the 63-year-old, was just banned. Just straight up.
Weekend Discusser? Wait, his name was Weekend Discusser? I'm that man.
Like a weekend warrior, but, for discussing.
May not be real.
May have been a troll. I really want to believe.
The walls were closing in, allies were scarce, viewers were menacing, and this was not even the pinnacle of what Jeremy had to face.
I think he's totally fucked up, if you want me to be honest. I think he's totally fucked up, and I think it was a massive mistake to try to deplatform Kino Casino. Yeah, I mean, he kind of is. I mean, I would say it's something like that. And he's felt he's a cuck, he's finished. Maybe, I don't know.
Asmongold, a top Twitch streamer and creator Jeremy...
And I feel like, you had a lot of dominoes falling. Like a lot of kind of integral types of people saying, okay, no, this ain't great. And that kind of, the worst thing you could do, it feels like online, is make it popular to hate on yourself. Like the worst thing you can do is because once it starts going, it doesn't stop.
But scantily covered, was not only opposed to him, but also his chat was full of Kino Casino references. Even Melanie Mack was someone who talked favorably of Asmongold just as recent as a week ago, but this screenshot serves more than to just prove that. It is also relevant because she removed nearly her entire catalog of videos on her commentary channel. The videos on screen are all that remain. But as things were heating up, PPP on Twitter and on the most recent Kino Casino stream announced that...
What's the PPP stand for? And it says power of truth, but I don't know what I should look that up sometime.
That he had a non-refundable family vacation.
Sorry. I don't know. It's the stupidest, most childish joke ever, but on the Kino Casino the one time they were making a joke about him pooping in the Walmart, and they were saying, the pooth is out there, Jeremy. It's kind of... it tickled my funny bone.
And bucked. The show would have to return 8 days later on the 22nd. Other creators and the Kino Casino's viewers would have to do for the meantime. On Jeremy's kick, a lone viewer subscribed to spam the chat full of Kino Casino emotes. The most frequently used is an image exemplifying Jeremy's balding. And on Kiwi Farms, it was discovered that Jeremy had...
It's going to happen to us all eventually. There are a few things more pleasurable in life, though, than watching people who are younger than you start losing their hair. Sick little jackasses. No, I don't know. There's a growing resentment inside of me for people who are younger than me. I understand why older people get that way.
As the Kino Casino followed on his Kick account. And on the 15th, yet another video was taken down covering Jeremy. Even still, this hardly did anything to slow down the many new videos being made on him. Videos that were outperforming Jeremy's own videos in the YouTube search. Another reason Jeremy's videos are being outperformed by those covering him is that the comment sections are now made up of detractors. These people click on a video for the singular purpose of commenting. Because they only watch a second or two before pausing and leaving, it kills Jeremy's average view duration and makes YouTube promote his videos less and less. That was not the case with Jeremy's YouTube Shorts. These videos have...
Because I would have thought like any view is a good view, but is there something like that that would say effectively if you like people are clicking on it and then clicking right off, it would actually take it out of the algorithm? That's something I have to look into.
Been far outperforming his standard videos. Upon viewing any of these, the reason is rather clear. Jeremy takes a viral video, adds 3 seconds of introductory commentary, and
that's a strange expression.
That is his entire contribution.
Very weird. It's like he's I don't know what that is.
This is a compilation a Twitter user made of such a thing.
Check this out. Check this out.
Well, here we
go.
Why is he using the same shirt in all these things? Were these all made at the same time? Like, what is going on here? Everything in the background is the same, right? Except the angle is a little bit different on some of these. Maybe it's just because they framed him down or something. I'm not sure, but like, does he make that many in a day?
What do you think? Check this out. Again, check it.
That is different than, yeah. Okay, this one is actually same hat, different shirt.
Out.
Jeremy was not pleased with the criticism directed at his YouTube Shorts.
All right, well, that is the show for today. I've got to do a bunch of...
Well, a lot of people, I think, rag on Shorts, but I think the one way in which it might translate to actually long-term form or long-form videos is if you take a short out of a larger video, which is what I try to do, and then link to that video in the short. I feel like that can help because, like, at least I do it. Like, if I'm watching a short, I'll sometimes, if there's a linked video, I'll sometimes click on the link. But in this case, this isn't that. He's literally just making shorts. Maybe he's linking to a video, but it's not a part of a larger video. It's literally just a short. You're going to get a view for a short, not necessarily a view for a larger video. Like, I don't think that... I think that even less so than normal shorts would translate into some sort of long-term viewership or long-form viewership. Sorry. Either or.
Low effort short slop that everyone's really mad about. I've got to do that. Even
so, this was kind of the other thing that, like, apart from all the DMCA stuff, he was apparently, stealing content in the form of these shorts.
No, everyone does it, and instead of complaining about it, you could just do it yourself.
Jeremy's main channel content was far underperforming. His shorts were being criticized for lacking critical commentary needed to satisfy fair use. Yet he still had Rumble. He is both looking forward to a massive year on the platform, who claims to always have his back. On one of the tweets, creator Nicholas Diorio commented, quote,
he commented, "I'm a New Yorker and we don't like planes and showers. We feel very strongly about that."
Didn't you just stream?
Sorry, I like Nick. But I got a rag on New Yorkers. So, yeah. Maybe that's a little bit insensitive. I'm not making fun of the Twin Towers, okay? I'm making fun of New Yorkers.
To 82 people there the other day, unquote. Jeremy did not respond. Separately, Jeremy advertised how easy it is to get a Rumble deal. Yet, Jeremy's chuffed attitude quickly failed to reveal his penetrating rage. It was here that he sarcastically and furiously claimed that everything that has been flagged ever was him. He also doubled down on not taking a break on account of the harassment of his staff. This led into yet another, presumably drunken tirade. Another sign of Jeremy being undone, as he had claimed to have quit alcohol cold turkey just a few days prior. Perhaps this was the reason Jeremy was lashing out even more heavily. On April 17th, Chris Pavlovsky stated that no creator has a 5-year deal with Rumble or even close to it. Jeremy's 5-year $1 million contract with Rumble was a sham. As if this day could not get any worse for Jeremy, the H3 podcast dedicated yet another episode to him, covering his old and recent scandals, even recontextualizing the basement peeing event.
He's angry that his wife went for pizza without him. And I'll give credit to Diorio for this, and it makes a lot of sense.
Sorry, I was just watching. That was the other thing. Apparently, he had peed in his basement too because he lost a game. That was the excuse in any case. He might have done it before.
He was like, I wonder if that's code for fooling around with other people.
H3H3 even commended PPP for his dedication, deeming him to be one of, if not the most dedicated, passionate, and
Victorian child is mad. Look at him. He's so animated.
entertaining troll. Jeremy had set everyone against him, but he appeared unrelenting when on the 18th, yet another video was taken down. This time it was a video by Luther Morgan, the author that wrote a book on lolcows that Jeremy unwittingly promoted. Luther, in his removed video, reinforces the notion that Jeremy does not roast his coffee. In a separate event, and even though Jeremy had made it a point that his wife is not at
Oh, she looks nice.
all in the public space, he posted...
There's like... Yeah. It's a question, like, how does he get her? No, but she looks nice kind of in a like a non-Hollywood sort of way, like in like a normal way, I guess.
This image of his wife. This image is sourced from Jeremy's lengthy...
just generally speaking, I hope they have a good relationship. My idea is that any guy who can hang on to a woman without, anything untoward happening or underhanded tactics is, can't be all bad. Or maybe she's just a saint, but...
YouTube community post. In said post, he denies the cuck allegations, states that they've been doxxed, and had people showing up to his house, etc. While Jeremy's claims could be true, he has failed...
Yeah, they could be, but... I just feel like my initial reaction is a little bit doubtful, I guess. It feels like, at the very least, it might be exaggerated, perhaps.
To show evidence of these happenings. Furthermore, he's using the exact same strategy to deflect criticism from him that he used in 2020 when H3H3 made their content court on him. Though the Kino Casino and the return of the mac and cheese allegations are far more offensive, Jeremy has invited speculation on his marriage, not just from various clips of him talking about his wife, such as in basement peeing.
Alright, I'll leave you guys to look at the rest of it yourself. I don't want to get into the whole marriage thing. Yeah. Video by June the King. The Quartering 2 Decades of Grifting. Which now has 605,000 views after 5 days. So you can go check that out if you like. Alright, thanks for watching, and good day.